Hey there, you just clicked on First Down Punts. Nice move. This is a podcast about football and how it relates to fantasy football. Hope you like what you hear. We're going to get this thing started. Let's get crazy. And welcome in, everyone, to another episode of First Down Punts. I'm your host, Coach Chris. Today, we're going to be going over those Thanksgiving and Black Friday games, update some injuries, and then get into our starts and sits for the rest of the games in Week 13. Starting with the update on injuries, Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, CJ Stroud, Brian Thomas Jr., Jackson Dart, Terry McLaurin, Patrick Surtain, Darren Waller's coming off IR, as well as Austin Jackson for the Dolphins. Daniel Jones with that, I think it was a hairline fracture or something like that in his fibula. He's still going to play. And then Ashton Genty with the ankle, he's good to go. Baker Mayfield will play this week. Some guys, Marvin Harrison, he has a good chance of playing this week after missing the last 2 weeks with an appendectomy surgery. No Trey Benson for this week for the Cardinals, though. So if he doesn't come off IR next week, he is on IR for the rest of the season. Alvin Kamara has been ruled out. Devin Neal is good to go. I think it'll be him and Taysom Hill, so just a heads up on that. Minnesota Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy is out with a concussion. Max Brosmer will be the starter. No Jaden Daniels this week, but like I said, they did get Terry McLaurin back, so that's great news. Daniels is expected to play next week, but Marcus Mariota will be playing the Denver Broncos. Not too much fun for him. Frank Ragnow, the Lions center that was scheduled to return out of retirement, has failed his physical with a grade 3 torn hamstring. I wonder if this is just something to say, hey, I was going to come back, then they lost, and now the record is different. But I think it could be an actual injury. I think Ragnow wanted to come back and play. I don't think he wanted to retire this offseason, but all the same. In the game, though, for Thursday night, Thursday afternoon, I should say, Amon-Ra St. Brown injured his ankle. He has a low ankle sprain and is expected to be out 1 to 2 weeks. Devontae Wyatt for the Packers in the same game had injured an ankle and has possible ligament damage. They're waiting to get some more tests done. In the Chiefs and Cowboys game, Josh Simmons, the rookie left tackle, injured his wrist, dislocated, and broke it, in fact, and is going to end up on IR, maybe back for the playoffs if they even make it. And then Juwan Taylor, their right tackle, they were already missing Trey Smith. Juwan Taylor left this game with an elbow injury. As far as the scores on Thursday night, Packers beat the Lions 31-24. This, as the Lions fan, man, this was the game we had to win if we wanted to have a real chance to win the division. Right now, we are third in the division, and it looks like the Packers and Bears both have a good chance to make the playoffs, which means we will be fighting for a 6 or 7 seed. And with the schedule left, man, it's a tough schedule. The way the team is right now, I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. And that's shocking to say for me. I really thought the Lions were going to be okay this year. Injuries have obviously affected them, but coaching decisions, personnel decisions, there ain't much to say about all. They're dealing with a bunch of injuries because everybody but Kirby Joseph was back in the defensive backfield. They had Reed, they had Arnold, they had Branch. Linebackers are healthy. Defensive line is healthy. Could get pressure, but couldn't get to Jordan Love. He was getting rid of it quick, but hats off to the Packers for winning that game and moving to 8-3-1. Lions dropped to 7-5. Cowboys take down the Chiefs 31-28. This was a determining factor, the same as I feel about the Lions as it was for the Chiefs. The Cowboys have been playing much better on the defensive side, more importantly, and getting Lamb and everybody healthy now for the Cowboys offense. It showed out. They put up 31. You take down the Chiefs. And the Chiefs are now 6-6 and trying to figure out what they're going to do if they're going to be able to make the playoffs. The Bengals, Joe Burrow returns. Even if you don't have T. Higgins out with a concussion, it does not matter because they handled the Ravens 32-14. Lamar is clearly dealing with something. I know he had to toe during the week, but he just doesn't look right. He was inaccurate as all hell. And maybe that is just the toe affecting him, not being able to plant right. But it was bad. And I'm a huge Lamar fan. This was not a pretty game for Lamar Jackson. Credit to the Bengals. They took care of business, got them a win. Go to 4-8 now. The Ravens dropped to 6-6. So them and the Chiefs are tied in that AFC trying to fight for a wild card playoff. And then the Bears take down the Eagles 24-15. 8-3 versus 8-3 becomes 9-3 versus 8-4. And the Eagles drop a game that they probably shouldn't have. Although the Bears did exactly the opposite of what I expected to happen. They ran all over the Chiefs. Like I really thought that would be the benefit of the Eagles with those two defensive tackles, that defensive line, slow down the Bears' run game. You can affect Caleb Williams. Never happened. Caleb Williams didn't have to throw for a ton of yards. Monangai went for 130 and a touchdown. Swift went for 138 and a touchdown. As a team, they ended up with like 280 plus on 47 carries. It was just an impressive showing. And Ben Johnson gets to take his shirt off in the locker room afterwards, all excited. Hell, I would have been hyped too because he just moved into a number 1 seed in the NFC right now. So good job for the Bears. I got to say good job to the Bears and Packers on the same day. That's a bad day for a Lions fan. Getting into these 1 p.m. games, let's get to our starts and sits. The 49ers, 8-4, take on the Browns, 3-8. There is weather expected in this game, but it sounds like it's going to be more rain now than snow. Still expecting some wind. Starts for this game, it's going to be hard. Christian McCaffrey, San Fran defense, those are about the 2, and George Kittle are about the 3 I would trust from the Niners. From the Browns, it's only Quinshon Judkins. Those are the 4 guys out of this game that I would put in my roster no matter what. Flex players, Brock Purdy, he's a number 2. That's just all there is to it. Juwan Jennings, yes. Not really to go with Pearsall yet, but Juwan Jennings is definitely a flex. And then the kicker there for San Fran, I don't know if I can trust him. I don't believe Pinheiro is back this week, so I meant to check that. If Pinero's back, I trust him. But even in a weather game, it's scary, so that's why I'm down on the kicker situation no matter what. On the Brown side, as far as flex players go, it's Harold Fannin. I don't even want to start Njoku in this game if I can avoid it. If you have to, okay, he is the other option that they can throw to. But in a weather game versus a tougher defense, Shedeur is getting a second start. The receiving options didn't have a great day last week. Shedeur didn't throw for a ton of yards. Yes, he got the win, but it wasn't like he was blowing up for fantasy. So sits for this game, obviously, Ricky Pearsall on the Niners side, basically all the rest of the pass catches for the Niners. And on the Browns side, I don't want to start Shedeur. I do want to start Cleveland's defense. Sorry, that would be the other one. Quinshon Judkins and Cleveland's defense are the 2 starts for this game. I don't want to start Shedeur Sanders, though. Not interested in Tillman. Not interested in Judy. And then my sneaky start for this game, if I am going to pick a receiver, it's going to be Isaiah Bond. He had a big play last week. If Shedeur is going to look to him, he's a very talented receiver. Some stuff came out before the draft. He ended up going, I believe it was undrafted, signed as a free agent. And he's got talent. It's just about the matter of, is he going to get the opportunities? I think him and Shedeur could end up working well together in this situation. He is a deep ball guy. Shedeur loves throwing those hope balls downfield. And hopefully Isaiah Bond can be the guy to catch it for you if you need a sneaky start in a deep league. Next game, Jags 7-4 take on the Titans 1-10. Battle for not for the AFC South, but a battle in the AFC South. And division games are always harder to judge, harder to decide who's going to win. I do think the Jags are going to win, but I think the way the Titans defense has been playing with Jeffrey Simmons back, and the way Cam Ward played last week, gives the Titans 20% chance of winning this game. The Jags do get Brian Thomas Jr. back, but it's not like Trevor Lawrence is using him anyways. And if the Titans can turn over the Jags, Chimere Dickey have a couple big returns. Definitely something I'm looking for. Starts for this game, ETN. At receiver, man, it is tough. I think I'm still going to start Parker Washington over Brian Thomas Jr. as far as who am I going to start. I feel like Parker Washington will still have his role. Brian Thomas Jr. is going to take attention away from him. So Parker Washington to me is the start. And the Jags defense, I got to start them. Even if the Titans come out and beat me, then so be it. But I want to start this defense if I can. On the Titans side, I don't think I want to start anybody like saying you have to. Flex players for this game on the Jags side is Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas Jr. Not willing to flex Jacoby Myers this game. I got to see how that affects with Thomas Jr. back. I want to see how that affects Jacoby's snaps and Jacoby's opportunities. But Brenton Strange definitely willing to get involved. On the other side, on the Titans side, if you're desperate, Cam Ward is a number 2 quarterback. The Jags can be passed on. Now, the problem is they don't have Calvin Ridley, but Chimere Dickey's been balling, man, and that's just a fact. I think he should be a full-time starter for you, just if you get kick return yards. But we're going to keep him in the flex for now. Dickey's a flex player for me. And Gunnar Helm, I think you can flex him this week because Okonkwo's banged up. He's been playing banged up, and there's a chance that he misses on Sunday. If he does, he's questionable right now. If he ends up missing, it's only going to help Gunnar Helm. But Helm had 7 catches last week. And then Pollard and Spears, I think you can both low-end flex options if you're desperate and need a running back this week. But with no buys, hopefully you can sit them both. And then Joey Sly, I think you can go ahead and get him on your team if you need a kicker. The way the Titans played, like I said, it gave him more opportunities. And on the Jag side, Cam Little, definitely want to get him in there if I can. Sits for this game, Jacoby Myers, Bashaw Tootin. I'm a big fan of what Tootin's done this year. I just don't think they're going to – I think with Brian Thomas Jr. back and the Titans' ability to slow down the run game, I only want to really get ETN in my lineup. On the Titan side, sits, plenty of them. Chigakonkwo, even if he does play, if I can sit Pollard and Spears, I will. But like I said, deeper leagues, you might have to stick them in there. Definitely don't want to be involved in any of those other pass catches for the Titans. My sneaky start for this game, though, is the Tennessee defense. Like I said, they've been playing great the last couple games with Jeffrey Simmons. I think if you're in desperate need of a defense with a decent matchup, Trevor Lawrence is known to get sacked. Trevor Lawrence is known to have some turnovers. It's just a fact. His inconsistency helps other teams' defenses. So, sneaky start, Titans defense. Next game, Texans 6-5 take on the Colts 8-3. Another AFC South battle. The Texans have won 3 straight with Davis Mills. They get C.J. Stroud back. Hopefully that helps the offense. But Davis Mills had him rolling, was winning some games, had a comeback game, won a couple other games for him. Great for him to fill in, get them above 500. Now it's time for C.J. Stroud to come back from the concussion and play ball and take advantage of a Colts team that has stumbled a little bit as of late. And they lost to the Chiefs 2 weeks ago in overtime. With Daniel Jones' fibula messing with him, having a hairline fracture in it, that's a scary situation. If he gets knocked out this game, it's definitely a game that the Texans can win. But the way the Texans defense is playing, I think they're going to win this game. I think this game matters a lot more to them than it does to the Colts, just simply because of where the records are at right now. The Colts lose one, drop to 8-4, they're still leading the division. If the Texans lose one, drop to 6-6, they're probably not making the playoffs. And that's a desperation type of thing, plus a division opponent with the way that Texans defense is playing. I think the Houston can pull this out. Starts for this game, C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, Houston defense, and Ka'im Fairbairn, the kicker there. On the Colts side, I think you should start Jonathan Taylor. Tyler Warren, I forgot to mention this earlier. Tyler Warren is questionable. Popped up today on Saturday with an illness. He is questionable for this game. Generally, when guys have an illness, they play, but who knows what it is. Is it a stomach bug? He's been throwing up all night. We didn't get a lot of details. It's just illness on the practice or an injury report. So if he ends up missing this game, the Texans are almost definitely winning this game. But at the end of the day, starts for the Colts. Like I said, Jonathan Taylor, Tyler Warren, if he plays, he's in my lineup. And I definitely want to get him out there. Michael Pittman would be my other start for this game. He has been the number one there. He has been pretty damn consistent all season. So I'm willing to get him in the starting lineup. Flex players, definitely Jaden Higgins for the Houston Texans. Woody Marks, yes, on the Houston side. On the Colts side, I think you can flex Alec Pierce without question. I think you should be able to flex the Colts defense. They could get to C.J. Stroud. He's coming back. Could be a little rusty and come out and get a turnover, maybe a couple sacks. It's not like the Houston Texans offensive line has been great this season. So definitely think you can flex the Colts defense if you need them. Sits for this game, Jalen Noel, Christian Kirk. I know he had a touchdown, but I just it's hard to trust him, man. And then on the Colts side, I don't know if I want to start any of the tight ends if Warren is out, so I would say no. The Colts kicker, Michael Badgley, you could flex. That's for damn sure. He's going to have some opportunities, but if you could sit him, I think you would be better off. Between a couple misses and that Houston defense probably limiting opportunities, Michael Badgley is probably a sit in this game. My sneaky start for this game is going to be Nick Chubb. I think he gets a touchdown in this game. I think he gets like 20, 30 yards. If you need a spot starter, somebody's out this week. You had Kamara, you got Chubb on your bench. I think he steals a touchdown this week against the Colts. Next game, Saints 2-9 versus the Dolphins 4-7. Two teams not where they want to be, that's for damn sure. I thought the Saints put up a better fight last week. That just couldn't get it going. Dolphins, they're going to be coming off a bye, trying to get a win now, trying to get closer to 500. They're not making the playoffs this year, but they're still fighting. On the other hand, the Saints defense has been playing tough. Even if they're not shutting people down, they are playing tough. So starts for this game. No Alvin Kamara, that already hurts your chances of having anybody out there. I think you can start Juwan Johnson. That's probably about the only person from the Saints. Oh, and Chris Olave, obviously. Those two I'm still willing to start every week. On the Dolphins side, I think you start Tua. I think you start Jalen Waddle. Darren Waller being back is interesting, but I'm not saying you have to force him in your lineup. And then Devon Achane is obviously the other start for them. On the flex players for this game, I definitely will flex Darren Waller if I need a tight end this week. Coming off IR, he was getting touchdowns from Tua when he was here before. I think he caught one in 3 out of 4 games or 2 out of 3 games. I forget what it is now. But if he's playing, he's going to be a target for him. Miami defense, I think you could flex them in this game. Maybe Shuck turns it over. Maybe one of the running backs filling in has a fumble or something like that. But the Dolphins defense have been playing tough, similar to the Saints. Flex for the Saints, desperation, Tyler Shuck, yes. If you're not desperate, like I said, with no teams on a bye, unless you're missing a quarterback this week, I would be trying not to start Tyler Shuck, but I do think he could get you 200 yards and a touchdown, maybe 2. Probably going to come with a turnover and a few sacks. Definitely something to consider, though. With Ben Grupe being gone, the Saints signed Cade York. I think you could flex him, man. Cade York is a solid kicker. He had some struggles in Cleveland, but hell, who doesn't in Cleveland? Sits for this game, Malik Washington. I know he's been involved. He does kick returns and stuff. But with the return of Darren Waller, I think that's going to hurt Malik Washington's opportunities. Ollie Gordon, I don't want to flex him. As much as I love Ollie Gordon, and he has been involved, I think you're better off just sitting him on the bench this week. I think this will be an A-chain game. And once they get up big, maybe Ollie comes in. But I don't know if he's going to be involved enough this week. With Darren Waller back, they might try to pass a little bit more. We'll see what happens. And then on the Saints side sits, or I would flex Devin Neal. I'm not going to lie to you. If I had that opportunity to flex Devin Neal, I'd probably flex him. But Saints, I don't really want anybody else on that team short of my sneaky start. And for the Dolphins, like I said, I'm sitting Malik Washington. There's nobody else really to talk about there. Sneaky start, though, is Taysom Hill. Because with Kamara out, this is what I said last week. With Kamara out, Taysom Hill had 10 carries last week. After Kamara got banged up, he was already involved before Kamara left. He gets 10 carries again. I got a feeling he's going to have more than 17 yards. Now, he can still pass it. He can still catch it. There's plenty of options. And you put him in your tight end spot, definitely an opportunity for a blow-up game. So, next game, Falcons 4-7 take on the Jets 2-9. A couple other teams not wanting to be where they thought they would be at this point. Falcons have lost Michael Penix for the season. Kirk Cousins is now starting, obviously. Drake London is out this week. I didn't expect him to play, so I don't know why they were acting like he was going to. We already know it's a 2 to 4 week injury. He's only missed 1 game. I'm guessing he has a chance to be back next week, and maybe the week after that is when he'll actually be back. Starts for this game, though, it is hard, man. Bijan Robinson, yes. I don't think I want to start anybody else from that Falcons team as like a full-time starter. Flex players, yes, but Bijan Robinson is probably the only person. Maybe Zane Gonzalez after winning NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Maybe start him this week. And the Falcons defense, even them, I don't know, man. They're just questionable. On the Jets side, I think you can start Breece Hall, no problem. I think you can start the Jets defense, no problem. Flex players for this game, it's definitely going to be, like I said, for the Falcons side, Kyle Pitts, yes. Darnell Mooney, yes. You can flex him if you need to. Not recommending saying you have to, but he's definitely a flex player. And then Tyler Algier. If the Falcons do end up getting up, Algier is going to be involved. He can always steal a touchdown from you. Definitely something to consider. The Falcons defense, like I said, is probably more of a flex play. On the Jets side, flex players, you got to look at Adonai Mitchell. You got to look at John Mechie. I think both of those players are worth a shot in deep leagues if you need a receiver this week. Sits for this game, Tyrod Taylor, Mason Taylor. The Falcons are really tough against tight ends. That's the only reason I'm saying sit Mason Taylor. He's usually a flex player for us, but just the Falcons' pass defense has been really good, short of a couple weeks here and there. And then Kirk Cousins, you can flex, obviously, if you need him. But against that Jets defense, he's not very mobile, and they could get after him. So if you can avoid it, go ahead. If you have to, start him. Sits for this game, like I said, if I can, I'm sitting Kirk Cousins. But I don't really want anybody else out of the Falcons team. We got a lot of them in the flex spot. Really, the only starters, Bijan and Zane Gonzalez. So there's not a lot of sits for the Falcons out of the players we already talked about. Just not willing to throw anybody else in there. And then for the Jets side, I'm sitting Tyrod Taylor, like I said. I'm sitting Mason Taylor. I'm sitting Isaiah Davis and seeing what happens. My sneaky start for this game, though, is Nick Folk, the kicker for the Jets. Still perfect on the season. And been a damn good kicker. Going to have a couple opportunities. Like I said, Tyrod Taylor getting there and steadying out that offense a little bit. They're going to be able to have a little bit more success, maybe getting some field goal range, and Nick Folk's got a leg. So, sneaky start, Nick Folk. For Rams, 9-2 versus the Panthers, 6-6. Starts for this game, Matt Stafford, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams, Rams defense. On the Panthers side, Tedero and McMillan. And I think Rico Dowdle's more of a flex this game, so we'll put him in the flex. Flex players, obviously, Rico Dowdle. I'm not interested in Bryce Young. No thank you against this defense. Rico Dowdle's going to have a tough going. I don't know what they were doing last week, like basically not giving him the ball for after the middle of the third quarter or something like that. But I believe he'll get more involved in this game, hopefully as a pass catcher, because I don't know how much success they'll have running the ball. This is a game I expect the Rams to take control of. But the Panthers are 6-6. They've been surprising me all season. So, flex players for this game. Colby Parkinson, tight end for the Rams. He was the one that took over once Higbee was on IR last week. Get him in your tight end spot if you need one. On the Panthers side, there's not really a lot of people I even want to consider. So let's get to our sits. Sits for this game. Jordan Whittington, obviously, I'm not willing to start him. Terrence Ferguson, as much as I love him, he ain't been involved enough. Davis Allen for the Rams, all those guys, no thanks. On the Panther side, Bryce Young, sit him if you can. That's all there is to it, not against his defense. Chuba Hubbard, obviously, yes. Jatavian Sanders, no thanks. And what's the other receiver's name? Jalen Coker, no thanks. Xavier Legette, I don't even want to start him this game. Like I said, I expect the Rams to beat the hell out of the Panthers. My sneaky start for this game, Blake Corum, because he's been involved. He's been solid. And again, in a game that I expect the Rams to be up big, Blake Corum could definitely come in, get some yards, get a touchdown. So you need a desperation play in a deep league. Blake Corum is obviously that guy. Cardinals 3-8 versus the Bucks 6-5. Cardinals, like I said, Marvin Harrison may play in this game. We're going to consider him a flex option for now because if he's not, even coming back from appendectomy, he's been off for a couple weeks, maybe not being in shape, maybe not playing a full-time role. Plus, with the ascension of Michael Wilson, you don't know what's going to happen with this offense now. Starts for this game, though, definitely Jacoby Brissett. I know that they're playing Seattle or the Bucks. Bucks got a solid defense, but Jacoby Brissett has been balling out, and for fantasy, he doesn't have to win the game to have a bunch of points. Michael Wilson, yes, I'm starting him still this week. Trey McBride, yes, still starting him. On the Bucks side, Baker Mayfield plays, Baker Mayfield starts. Emeka Egbuka, yes, thank you. Bucky Irving is expected to be back. I don't think there's a guarantee that he's definitely back this week yet, but if he is, he's more of a flex play because I still expect Rachaad White and Tucker to get a handful of carries as he works his way back in. So it's really just Egbuka and Mayfield. Maybe Chase McLaughlin, the kicker there, you can go ahead and start with no problem. Flex players, though, like I said, for the Cardinals, Marvin Harrison's a flex player this week. I can't trust that he's going to be the guy. Bam Knight, Michael Carter, if you want to flex either of those players, it's a roll of the dice. I expect Bam Knight to be the guy that's more successful. But no DeMercado this week, so it's just those two. No Trey Benson coming back. You can take a shot on either one if you need them in a deep league. Flex players for the Bucks, Cade Otton, the Bucks defense, Bucky Irving. Like I said, you could flex him. You might even be able to flex one of the other ones, but I'm not willing to guess which one it is. Sean Tucker has been the more successful one in the most recent weeks. Rachaad White was the one that took over. They'll probably all be involved. If I can sit all three of them, I might do that. So. And then I actually think you can start flex the Arizona defense if you need a defense this week. They've been solid, not great, but with Baker's shoulder banged up, maybe he can't get all of it underneath one, and he throws a turnover or something like that. Not saying you have to start the Cardinals, but it's not the worst start in the world. Sits for this game. If I can, I'm sitting those Arizona running backs. I don't want to be involved in the running back game, especially against Vita Vea and that defensive line. Greg Dortch, you got to sit him this week simply for the fact that Marvin Harrison is back. Yes, he's been super involved, 6 for 50 and 6 for 66, a touchdown each week. You love to see it. But with Harrison coming back, he's going to be on the field. Sits for the Bucks, Sterling Shepard, no thanks. Rachaad White and Sean Tucker, I don't want to start either of them. Chad Ryland, I guess you could flex him, but I'm not willing. I think you should sit him this week, honestly. My sneaky start for this game, though, is going to be Tez Johnson because they need pass catchers still to this day. Mike Evans, there's rumors that he could be back in week 14. I actually just picked him up in my home league, put him in the IR slot, just with the hope that he does get back. Probably more likely week 15, but if he does get back, great. But for this week, Tez Johnson's our sneaky start. 4 p.m. games. Vikings 4-7 take on the Seahawks 8-3. Starts for this game: Sam Darnold, JSN, the number one receiver in the NFL right now, and Ken Walker. I think you can start Ken Walker with confidence this week. On the Vikings side is Justin Jefferson. I'm going to start Justin Jefferson every week he plays. So I know he hasn't been who you drafted him to be, but he's still a solid receiver. I would look at him more as a low-end number 2. Now, maybe Max Brosmer can come in and help him out, but I'm just counting on Justin Jefferson being Justin Jefferson, still being involved enough. Flex players for this game: Aaron Jones for the Vikings. Yes, I could definitely see him doing something, even against the tough Seahawks defense. I think he'll be involved enough with pass catching and everything else that you can still trust him as a flex. On the Seahawks side, you can probably go ahead and flex Charbonnet this week. That's just all there is to it. And Rashid Shaheed might even be involved a little bit this week. But A.J. Barner is definitely a flex player for you. And the Seahawks defense is a player that you should have in your lineup if you have him. On the sits for this game, Max Brosmer, no thanks. Jordan Addison, no thanks. T.J. Hockenson, no thanks. I don't want to be involved in any of this right now, short of Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones. Will Reichard, you could look at as a flex player because he continues to bang 50-yarders, but the opportunities may be limited. We don't know how good Max Brosmer can play. I got to believe he's got to be better than J.J. McCarthy looked like the last few weeks. So if he is, then Reichard's probably got a couple more opportunities, but definitely not someone I'm saying you have to start. And then the Vikings defense, no thanks. I don't believe the offense is going to have them in good enough position. And all it takes is a couple turnovers for the Seahawks to score quick. That Vikings defense just lost all potential. Another sit, Jordan Mason. I don't want to put him in the lineup this week. I don't think he'll have enough opportunities. Sits for the Seahawks. Cooper Kupp, I don't think you need him this week. I don't think the Seahawks are going to need him this week. Sneaky start for this game is going to be Elijah Arroyo. Arroyo, the tight end there, he's a backup to Barner. But Arroyo pops off every now and again. And if they're up big, they're going to put him on the field more. You could definitely see him getting some catches in the second half, possibly a touchdown. He's a hell of an athlete. Just got to improve as a blocker to be on the field the full time. So if you need a desperation play a tight end, Elijah Arroyo could be that guy. Raiders 2-9 versus the Chargers 7-4. Ashton Jeanty, like I said, off the injury report, going to play this week, no problem. Starts for this game, I would say Ashton Jeanty. I'm still starting him no matter what. And Brock Bowers for the Raiders. That's about it that I'm saying you got to start from them. On the Chargers side, Justin Herbert, yes. Lad McConkey, yes. Aronde Gatson, yes. Cameron Dicker, yes. Those are all full-time starters. Get them in your lineups if you got them. Flex players for this game. On the Raiders side, you can see Trey Tucker definitely being a player that gets some opportunities. Maybe it's because they're trying to come back. And then on the Chargers side, Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, Kamani Vidal, these guys are all going to be players that you could put in your lineups and expect to get some points. You just don't know how much. Vidal's been solid. He's had a couple down games, had a couple blow-up games. So you're just looking for something in the middle, consistency more than anything. And if he gets that touchdown and 70 yards or 100 total yards between receiving and rushing, you're going to be happy camper. Definitely get Chargers defense out there if you can. I mean, if you got them, put them in your lineup versus Raiders offense and the way they've been playing. They fired Chip Kelly this week. Who knows what they're going to look like. Sits for this game. Tyler Lockett, I know he's been involved, but Geno Smith and him, they have their connection. They're not going to be as good against this Chargers defense. So sitting Geno, sitting Tyler Lockett. Definitely want to sit both of them. And Raiders defense, I do not want to start them. On the Chargers side, it's really just about the backup type guys, the Will Dissleys, the Tyler Conklins. I don't even know if Dissly's going to be active. He's been inactive for a few games. Sneaky start for this game, Raheem Mostert. If Jeanty is banged up, I know he's off the injury report, but they could definitely try to get Mostert more involved, take a little bit of the leeway off of him. Or if the Chargers get a big, they bring in Mostert and try to save Jeanty to keep him healthy. So either way, I think Mostert could be involved. He does kick returns and stuff like that. Somebody that could get you some points in different ways. Bills 7-4 take on the Steelers 6-5. Aaron Rodgers is back. Metcalf is good to go. Should be an interesting game. Definitely going to be a game between two teams that are fighting for playoff spots. Right now, these are both wild card teams, and this could be a determining factor of who gets the better seeding in the wild card if the Bills can't come back and overtake the Patriots and the Steelers don't win the division. Right now, the Steelers are leading the division, and Ravens are 6-6 after the loss on Thursday. So if they win this game, they get another game away from the Ravens. But starts for this game: Josh Allen, obviously, James Cook, yes. If Dalton Kincaid plays, he's definitely a start for me. If he's not playing, that's going to be determined prior to game time. So inactive list, check them an hour and a half before the game. Hopefully you have a better alternative if you can't wait around until 4 o'clock. Starts for the Steelers: DK Metcalf, I'm starting him every week. Jalen Warren, yes. Pittsburgh's defense, yes. The way they've been playing, I think you should start them. And I think they have an opportunity to slow down the Bills and possibly steal a win here if they can get to Josh Allen like that defense did last week. Flex players for this game: Buffalo's defense, yes, please. Khalil Shakir, yes, please. If Kincaid is out, Shakir goes into a full-time start. You definitely want him in your lineup. If Kincaid is back, Shakir drops to that flex spot. So that's where I got him right now. On the other side for the Steelers, flex players: Aaron Rodgers. If you need a quarterback, fine. I'm not looking to start him, especially coming back, still having a wrist injury he's dealing with. If he takes a bad hit on that wrist or something, he could be knocked out for the game. It's something to be aware of. But if he is going to play, then you could still flex him as a number 2 quarterback. And Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell should have like 5 touchdowns the last 2 weeks. I think he's got 3 total. He had 2 called back on penalties, still ended up scoring 1 last week. Gainwell has been super involved. Him and Warren are both doing really well. And then Freiermuth, I think you could probably flex him this week. I know Darnell Washington's got the attention a couple weeks ago, but I think Freiermuth is still that number 1 there. Jonnu's still involved a little bit, so don't really want to start Jonnu or Washington. And then sits for this game on the Bills side, basically every receiver but Khalil Shakir. They did sign Brandon Cooks. Don't know how involved he's going to be, but he could be on the field enough to affect all these other receivers. And none of the tight ends. Now, if Dalton Kincaid is out, Dawson Knox becomes a very low-end flex option. On the Steelers side, like I said, I'm not starting either of those tight ends that they got, Washington or Jonnu Smith. I don't want to start either of those this week. My sneaky start for this game, though, Calvin Austin. When Rodgers is there, Austin is involved. I think that could be the case this week, especially against that Bills defense. They may need to get rid of the ball a little bit quicker. And Austin is definitely that underneath guy like that. And on the Sunday Night Football, Broncos 9-2 take on the Commanders 3-8. Like we talked about, Terry McLaurin is back. Patrick Surtain is back for the Broncos. No Jaden Daniels. That game I expect the Broncos to win handily. Starts for this game: Bo Nix, yes. Cortland Sutton, yes. RJ Harvey, yes. Denver defense, absolutely. Starts for the Commanders: Deebo Samuel. That's probably the only one I would say you can trust. Flex players for this game: from the Broncos side, Troy Franklin. He's actually been a more targeted receiver, but I just feel like this is going to be a Sutton game against that pass defense. Sutton needs to get going. They need to get him going for the playoffs. This could be like a dedicated attack. And then on the Commander side, flex players, go ahead and flex Terry McLaurin. I think Zach Ertz is still a flexible player. Not willing to mess. Chris Rodriguez, you could probably flex, but if you can avoid it, I would. He's the starter there. He's going to get the bulk of the carries, but it's going against this Denver defense, which is a really damn tough defense. So if you can avoid Rodriguez, I would. Sits for this game: any running back? No, I'm just kidding. Any running back not named Rodriguez? Yes. Really all the Washington running backs, I don't want to start if I don't have to. Rodriguez is just the one. All of the pass catchers, the Jalen Lanes, any of the Ben Sinnott, the tight end, I don't want any of them. I don't even want to start the Commanders kicker this week. On the other side, for the Broncos, sits for this game, I would probably say Evan Ingram, basically all the tight ends, and Marvin Mims. He does returns, but if the Commanders can't score, it's going to be hard to do some returns. And if they know how to punt, he'll never get one. He'll have to fair catch all of them. Sneaky start for this game is going to be Jaleel McLaughlin, the running back for the Broncos. So he was the one that got involved. He was the one I expected to get involved. I think he will be involved in this game. And if they get up big on the Commanders, McLaughlin's going to get those more opportunities than he already would have. So definitely a guy you can slide in as a third running back or flex guy if you need a running back this week. Monday Night Football, Giants 2-10 take on the Patriots. The Giants get Jackson Dart back. Darius Slayton is questionable but expected to play, I believe, with that hamstring. Patriots, they're missing some defensive players. Milton Williams is going to be out. We already know that he's been out a couple weeks now. They lost Will Campbell last week, and their left guard is probably going to be out this week. Will Campbell went on IR, so that pass rush could get to Drake May. Drake May didn't look great last week with the lineman missing. Maybe the Giants could steal a win here. But at the end of the day, I expect the Patriots to win. Just saying, there's a possibility. Starts for this game. Jackson Dart, I'm starting him every week he plays. He is a staple back type player, and that means rushing and passing capabilities. Guy scores 2 to 3 touchdowns every week. He's the type player you want in your lineup. Theo Johnson. Anytime Jackson Dart plays, Theo Johnson has a good day. So those two get to go together. On the Patriots side, I'm starting Drake May, even with the missing linemen, but I am expecting a lower day. Hunter Henry, yes. The way he played last week, I believe he'll be a little bit more involved. Yes, it was against the Bengals, who can't stop tight ends at all, but I believe Hunter Henry will be involved in this game. I also believe Stephon Diggs will be involved in this game. And then the Patriots defense, I'm starting. Even missing Milton Williams, yes, I'm starting him. On the flex players for this game, Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary. They're low-end options for flex players, number 3 running backs, but they're both involved enough. Singletary's the goal line back. Tracy gets the pass catches. So they both have their potential of giving you points in different ways. Definitely players that if you need a running back and you're missing Kamara, these guys can fill in admirably. Darius Slayton, if he plays, he's a flex guy. Wan'Dale Robinson is a flex guy. These are guys that it's like, do I have a better option or not? I know Wando had a huge game last week. It was also with Jameis Winston. Who knows if that'll go back and change or be the same thing as last week. On the Patriots side, flex players. Oh, I'm sorry. Travion Henderson is a full-time starter. Flex players, Ramondre Stevenson. I think you can flex him. Ramondre is definitely a guy that's still going to be involved. He didn't have enough opportunities, but against the lower team, they're going to try to run the ball, try and control the clock, protect Drake May with those missing tackles. You could definitely see Ramondre being more involved this week. And then if you want to throw a wide receiver out there, it's going to be Kayshon Boutte as a flex player for the Patriots besides Stephon Diggs. So Boutte's definitely a guy you can flex if you need to. Sits for this game, the Giants defense and any other pass catcher not named Slayton, Robinson, or Johnson. So I don't really want to get involved in any other Giants pass catchers. Yes, they can have their time or their big play, but I'm not involved. On the Patriots side, I'm sitting Pop Douglas. I am sitting Terrell Jennings. No thanks. Andrew Borregales. I know he had a big week last week. I think this will be a harder game for the Patriots just because missing those linemen. Definitely going to be an impact. And on the Giants side, I'm not starting a kicker either. My sneaky start for this game, though, Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins was still involved even though Boutte came back. I think Mac Hollins could continue to be involved, and this could be a game that they need his big body out there on the field. So, last sneaky start of the game, of the week, Mac Hollins. Other than that, guys, we're going to get out of here. I hope you all had a good Thanksgiving, good Black Friday, got your shopping done, or Amazon shopping, whatever crap you do. But I hope you're having a good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Until next time, we're out. First down, Punts!